So Mathieu Germain, a quick turnaround for you, another fight straight in there. What was the thinking behind that?
Like you said, first round stoppage in the last one. You know, I had no injuries, I was fit as well, and wanted to keep that momentum going, so it was like, look, I want to get straight back out.
And Germain's been in with some tough guys, world level names, guys like Steve Claggett that he's been up against. Is this one about getting some rounds in the bank, and because you've got that world title shot on the horizon, is this about getting out there and just having a bit of ring time?
Of course, like you said, the world title's, you know, it's in front of me, but, you know, I'm not overlooking. And you know, I know I've still got a challenge on Saturday night, and like you said, Mathieu Germain is a solid operator and one I prepared well for, and you know, I'm looking to go in there and put on a world class performance.
And obviously Sheffield loves and embraces you, it's your hometown. How special is it after fighting in Nottingham last time out to be back in Sheffield?
You know, there's no better feeling than fighting in your hometown. You know, you're getting all the support out. Obviously they've shown they'll travel. I think this is my 5th headline in a row, so you know, I wouldn't be able to do it without these people, and the city's got behind me. And yeah, like you say, I'm so grateful for that, and you know, I'm excited to put on some big nights of boxing for them.
And obviously you are the WBC mandatory challenger. I think a lot of fighters would have maybe sat on that, waited to see what happened in Puello's next fight and gone from there. What was the motivation to not do that and actually go in and compete and risk it all?
Exactly like you're saying, but I think as a fighter the main thing is not becoming stale. You've got to stay active, especially pushing on towards those world titles. So, like I say, I'm not overlooking that. I'm not thinking I've got the world title next. The only thing I'm thinking of is get a job done on Saturday, prove to people why I deserve that world title shot, and you know, that's the only thing in, you know, the forefront of my mind.
And how much of Germain have you had the opportunity to watch? He's someone that's been around a little while. He has been in with some big names. Yeah. How much of his fights have you watched going into this one?
Just the same as any other opponent. You know, I watch a couple of minutes, couple of rounds. Just get a feeling of, you know, his style, what he does well, what he doesn't do well, and that's all I do. It's all I've done for every fight. It's always worked. You know, I don't study my opponents too much. As long as I've got a good idea, any situation what comes up into a fight, I know I can deal with.
And obviously your division, it has always been a fruitful one for British boxing. You know, you can list Ricky Hatton, Junior Witter, Gavin Rees, countless names that have won world titles in your division. How special is it to be part of that lineage and hopefully join them as a world champion?
You know, it's a massive thing for me, and like the list of names you've reeled off, that's boxing history. They're the legends of the game from, you know, the recent years. And for me to add to that list, it's, you know, it's a childhood dream, and you know, I'm very confident I can do that.
And obviously another person who probably somewhat of a boxing hero of yours, you share the name, Thunder, yeah. Arturo Gatti. Just tell us a little bit about your love and your respect for one of the greats of the game.
Yeah, he's, like you said, a warrior of the game. Could box, could fight, he was tough. You know, and like the people loved him. I used to love watching him growing up, and you know, I thought it was a name what fits. And like you say, obviously I'm becoming my own fighter, but to follow on from these guys, it's like you say, it's a dream come true, and yeah, hopefully I can achieve what those guys did.
And you say that you're becoming your own fighter. Obviously, all of us lot in this room, we write a lot about you, we talk a lot about you and the sort of fighter that we think you are. Yeah. I wonder, what's your own definition of what is Dalton Smith as a fighter? What do you try and embody in the ring?
Just win, like, just achieve what I set out to do. You know, I work hard in the gym. I've done it from a young age, and I believe in myself. You know, I've got one of the best teams around me, and I'm with one of the best promotional teams. So I know I've got the ability, I've got the confidence, I believe in myself to achieve what the list of names you just reeled off. So yeah, can't wait for it.
And you talk about achievement. Obviously, last time out, you very quickly became the European champion. How special was it to add that after British, Commonwealth? How special was it to add the third? Yeah,
just a special, you know, I've always said I want the traditional belts. Started from the English, you know, British, Commonwealth, European. And like I say, I've got one more belt to achieve, and that's a world title. And you know, I'm in touching distance of that. So it's only me who can make that not become a reality.
Do you think that's an advantage that British fighters have? Because I find in other countries there isn't that same sort of progression through the different regional and continental belts. Do you think that's something that makes British boxing in itself special?
Yeah, I think, of course, I think as a development for a fighter, it's crucial. But I mean, you don't really see it as much in this modern day. There's easier ways you can go, pick up international titles. But from the day one when I set out from boxing, I says, I want to go the traditional route. I want to do what the legends of the game, who I grew up watching, have done. And I'm grateful I've been able to do that. And like you said, I'm in touching distance to achieve it all.
And we've obviously seen, particularly recently, that incredible knockout power of yours. I talk to a lot of fighters and they always say, I don't go looking for the knockout, it just comes. But when did you realise that your power really was a point of difference that gives you an advantage over other fighters?
I mean, I've always known I've been able to punch, I've always been strong even from being a kid in the amateurs. I've always followed that through into, obviously maturing into a man, becoming a professional. But it's like you said, every time you get the stoppages when you don't come looking for it. And it's just the experience of a fighter where that comes. I never go in there looking for the knockout. I just let the fight flow, and if the openings come, the openings come.
And it's a special card, this one as well. There's some massive names on there. Obviously, you're going to be focused on your own fight, but is there anyone you're particularly looking forward to watching on this show?
Yeah, I mean, there's some great names. Obviously, Josh Warrington, former world champion, done everything in boxing. Obviously got with the young talents, Giorgio Viciola, and also the local guy, Josh Padley, who's obviously doing well for himself, got his Matchroom debut. So obviously we've sparred over the years. I'm glad he's got the breakthrough and he's doing well, so I'm excited to see him.
How special was it to see him get that surprise call-up from Shakur Stevenson, something that I think stunned all of us, and he gave an incredible account of himself?
Of course he did, and that's why he's in the position he's now. Credit to the kid, credit to Josh, and like I said, we're rooting for him to do well.
And obviously you're going to say you're going to win, but can I get a little bit of a prediction on how Saturday night's fight ends?
It's a Dalton Smith win. Whether it's inside, the distance, either way, I'll find a way to win.
And if I could just get a prediction, we're asking everyone, putting together a little video on who people think is going to win the Conor Benn Chris Eubank Jr. fight. I just wonder, who are you picking in that one?
I can see going either way. I think on the night it's going to see with the weight making if it's going to take out Eubank or Ben's going to be the fresher guy. So I actually can't pick a winner on that one. I really am sat on the fence. But I'm excited that it's going to be a great fight.
Do you think it ends with a stoppage?
Yes.
Great stuff, Dalton. Thank you for speaking with us today.